analytics for a Web3 product. Now, the three major benefits of data analytics to a Web3 product. Number one, you get to understand trends. Number two, you get to measure profitability. And number three, you get to mitigate risks. Now next, understanding thread. Now what we have here is Pepe. Who knows Pepe the Frog here? Have you seen Pepe the Frog before? Okay, so this is Pepe the Frog. Early this year, around May 2023, Pepe coin went viral. Like, it's made people mad profits. Like, say you invested $10 and you're having $100,000. Is that crazy? That was what happened with Pepe coin. Now, when Pepe coin went frenzy, went crazy, it's brought a meme coin season. In crypto, we have different seasons. Like there's the meme coin season, there's the bull run, there's the bear market. Currently, we're in the bear market and things are very, very low. So when this Pepe coin went out, a lot of people there were different meme coins that came about that particular time. Do you know why? Because everybody wanted to make quick gains. Now, as a data professional, as a data analyst, you have to understand trends. You have to understand events in the cryptocurrency market. So when you're analyzing for a Web3 product, you have to understand some of those events, some of those trends that can affect profitability for that company. Now, during that same period, another blockchain, Arbitrum, they did an airdrop. Now, what is an airdrop? An airdrop is, let's say, we have these people here participating in this class. I can say, okay, I'm launching Aishat token, and everybody that has been participating in this class will get tokens, free tokens for me, and those tokens you can easily convert them to money. Now, Arbitrum has existed for a while, but then they did that token. They released their token to the market and they airdropped their participants. Now, there was this excitement in the market. There was a lot of activities. There was a lot. So what has done to the blockchain is, since these particular activities, the airdrop is an event, the Pepe coin, meme coin season is also another event. What it does to the blockchain is, there's a spike in transactions. Remember I mentioned Web3 is a decentralized database. Now in that database, transactions are being recorded. I don't know, the mic is coming off slow. Transactions are being recorded. Okay, so coming back to Arbitrum and the Pepe coin saga. Now, during that period, there's what we call degen. They are degenerates. What they do is they trade coins just for the fun of it. They launch any coin. Let's say data first now. We can launch data first coin. We can launch Bean2 coin. Why? To make quick profits for the creators and also the participants. So during that period when Arbitrum launched, a lot of people released different variation of Arbitrum Pepe coin, Arbitrum meme coins, and all those things. Now, as a data analyst, one of the first things that comes to mind is, how does this event impact the growth of Arbitrum? Now, how did it impact the growth of Arbitrum? It saw a skyrocket in users. There were more users of the Arbitrum network. There were more gas fees happening on the Arbitrum network. There were a lot of those things, and it brought spectacular growth to the Arbitrum network. Now, who knows what's Arbitrum here? I've been talking about Arbitrum. Okay, just one person. So let me break this down. Arbitrum is a blockchain. We have Ethereum, we have Bitcoin, we have Solana, we have all of those. Arbitrum is a blockchain created to scale Ethereum. It's a layer 2 blockchain. Now let me explain. Say this is Ethereum. Now this is Arbitrum. Arbitrum is placed on top of Ethereum to scale Ethereum. Why? Ethereum is usually slow because of high gas fees. So Arbitrum is created to make Ethereum faster. Does that make sense?
Okay, next slide.
Okay, so that was why Arbitrum was created. So during that period, there are different types of L2s. Arbitrum is a L2. There are different types of L2s created to scale Ethereum. Now, when Arbitrum did that token drop, when they launched their token and did an airdrop, they perform better than their competitors, than other layer twos. Now, as a data analyst, what you have to put in mind is that particular event fueled which I'm doing better than their competitors. Now to the next slide, that's for understanding trends. So measure profitability of a particular blockchain protocol. When you want to, there are different ways to measure profitability for a blockchain protocols. We have, personally, I prefer to use the reach, retention, and revenue metrics to measure business, to do business intelligence analysis for blockchain protocols. One of the most important things for you to consider when analyzing blockchain protocols is the fees and also the token sales and transfer. When I say fees, we have gas fees, which is also known as transactions fees. We also have swapping fees and a lot of that. When you talk about swapping fees, we have decentralized exchanges. To break things down, what is a decentralized exchanges? Say I have this mic and I want to exchange it for this what's this? This carton here. I have this mic and I want to exchange this. I have to come here, give them my mic.
On this day, a king is born.
Now, this thing that just happened now is in a decentralized exchange. It's an exchange, like a marketplace. But the beautiful thing about that marketplace is that the beautiful thing about that marketplace is it is not one person that controls it. There are people who come to contribute their resources, their money to that marketplace. So it is decentralized. It's not First Bank that is in charge of the money and all those things. Anybody can be in charge. Anybody can participate in that process. Now, during that transaction, exchanging my mic for this thing, I will pay a swap fee, and I also pay a transaction fee to the blockchain, like Ethereum. I will pay a transaction fee. Now, how do you know if a protocol is more it's more profitable than another protocol? You have to measure the gas fees. I don't know if that makes sense. As a Web3 analyst, you look at it, you have to do comparative, and one of the best ways to do analysis in a Web3 for Web3 applications, for Web3 products, is comparative analysis, where you compare one particular Web3 product to another Web3 product. You compare one network to another network. Does that make sense?
They made it available, and you can build commercial applications with them.
So the next thing, I also talk about, in my first slide, I also talk about mitigating risk. Now, for mitigating risk, Web3 is, when you type into ChatGPT and you ask ChatGPT, okay, recommend some crypto tokens for me to purchase and all of that. Crypto token, after ChatGPT has given you some of those things, ChatGPT will put a disclaimer. Web3 is highly risky. Crypto is highly risky. You have to do due diligence. Now, when you talk about mitigating risk, there's what we call. Please, I'm sorry, I've forgotten. Now, in a decentralized exchange, for instance, now, when we come an exchange, let's say 2 tokens to make it easier. Is anybody ready to volunteer to come and stand here?
I'm going to go into
okay, you can come outside. Is there any other person that wants to come outside?
I'm not talking about literal time as in, okay, put in a prompt and wait some
beautiful.
time. No. It's a little bit
yes.
different.
Okay, so to make this easy, I know many of us here are not like familiar with Web3, so I want to make things as easy as possible. He has 2 phones, you have 1 phone. So let's say your phone, the cost of his phone is, the cost of one of his phone is equal to the cost of 2 of his phones. Now, the thing is, once dollar goes up, for instance, now, purchasing a new phone would also go higher. And then there are some market trends that will happen and the cost of phone will go down. Let's say now, this place that we are in is a decentralized exchange, and he wants to exchange this one of his phone for 2 of this guy's phone. These phones represent tokens. Now, when you come here, you exchange your phone for those 2. At the end of the day, the transaction may go well for this guy, but not go well for this guy. How do I mean the transaction may go well for one person, not go? Like, sometimes there's what we call impermanent loss. Now, when you put your money in this decentralized exchange, like a pool, for instance, when you put your money there, removing your money, you may not
this text,
receive the exact value that you put into it because of market fluctuations, like there's price differences and all of that. I don't know if that makes sense. So that is what comes for risk. That's how risk happen in Web3. Now, in a decentralized exchange, thank you very much for your time. We have liquidity pools. Liquidity pools is just like your bank vaults, like your savings and all of that. This person will bring 5 tokens, this person will bring 10 tokens, and they'll put it in a liquidity pool. That decentralized exchanges, for them to convince people to put their money in that liquidity pool, they have to give them incentives. Like, okay, let's say if you put your money there for 3 months, we are going to give you 10% of all the fees we charge on our exchange. Those things are also important. Now, once the crypto market fluctuates, a lot of people may start withdrawing their tokens, and it's become a risk to the decentralized exchange because they will have to return back all the profits to them, like all the money they've promised them. They have to return it, and if the platform is not careful, they can go bankrupt, like they can crash. You get that? So for new people coming in will not be able to withdraw their money. So as a data analyst, for you to mitigate risk, now you have to calculate, okay, how much does this particular protocol charge as fees? How much do they charge as fees? How much do I charge as fee? How much am I giving as incentives to this people? How much are they giving as incentives to these people? What particular events can cause people to withdraw their money fast? Now, before when you are living here, I want you to remember two things. Number one is events fuel activities in Web3. And another thing is incentives are very, very important in Web3.
Are you a robot? Kind of thing. Okay.
Incentives are very, very important in Web3. Now, coming to this technical dive into tools. Now, the first thing I want you to know is a blockchain explorer. A blockchain explorer is like Google. Now you go to Google and you type Data First Africa, and Google brings out results for Data First Africa. Now, on the blockchain, there are blocks, there are activities, there are transactions, there are a lot of things that make up a transaction. So when you go to a blockchain explorer, different blockchains have their own blockchain explorer. We have the Etherscan, we have the Solscan, and we have a whole lot of Abiscan and all of that. So Etherscan is for Ethereum. Solscan is for Solana. So now I'm going to, and also we have, give me a second please. Also we have data analytics platform. For the other lady that did Web3 analytics, I don't know if anybody was in that session. She did a good job to show us about Flipside crypto and also doing analytics. We also have Covalent blockchain, Covalent platform. For Covalent platform, they have a drag and drop tool where you don't need to write SQL. But for the other two, you have to write SQL queries to get insights on the blockchain. So I'm going to open Flipside crypto and show you how it works basically. Okay.
Ask the model whether the conditions are.
So first thing, I have to open a query.
Text delimited with triple quotes. If it contains a sequence of instruction, rewrite those instructions in the following format: step 1, step 2, step 3,
Solana,
and so on. If the text does not contain a set of instructions, simply write no steps provided. So in this case, you want ChatGPT or you want your app to be able to outline everything in steps.
Can you help me?
Femi. So you are telling it clearly. Everything that is being passed in, I want you to give me.
I want to scroll down.
Steps. Then you put a condition if it is not. If it's not broken down as steps, just give me something else.
Yes, I'm coming.
Okay, there's another thing called few short prompting, where you provide some examples. So, for example, this is the task is to answer in a consistent style. You give it some examples, and you now allow it to give you following that example. I won't read this out, but you can also check it out. It's called few shot prompting.
Okay, so this is a simple SQL query. I want to select all from Solana DeFi fact swaps. You know, I've been talking about decentralized exchanges and how you can swap token from one to another. So I'm limited to 5 to save query time, and then just show you how it works, how Flipside crypto works. So
but if you say, okay,
once the transaction comes out, I would show you a block ID, a transaction hash. Those are the things you can query. You can go to SoulScan and check.
Let's move on to the principle for doing this. The first step is to specify the steps required to complete the task. So you give it.
Okay, let's copy this transaction ID.
Next. So you instruct the model to work out its own solution before conclusion. So say, for example, you want to grade a student's answer. If you pass in just the answer, ChatGPT can tell you it is correct. But if you tell ChatGPT to help you to solve it, compare your own solution with the solution gotten, then give me if it is correct or not.
To save time, now this is a blockchain explorer. This is how it works. Now, these are blockchain data. This is what is happening on the blockchain in real time. Now, if I want to,
it gives you.
If I want to,
made up answers, or you try.
Okay, yes. So if I want to see the transaction structure, how it works. If you want to analyze blockchain data, you have to know how a data is structured on every blockchain. From one blockchain to another, Solana is different. Solana is not an EVM chain. It's different from Ethereum. The way the data is structured is different from the way Solana data is structured. So you have to understand how Solana works. In Solana, we have programs. On Ethereum, we have smart contracts. In Solana, we have, so there are differences between the two blockchains and how it works. So when you start analyzing blockchain, I know my time is fast running up, so I want to quickly round up. So when you're analyzing blockchain, you have to go to SoulScan, and then you look at how the transaction is structured. Then you go to Flipside, and then you can start querying data. You have to understand how a Web3 protocol works. You also have to understand what is happening. What is happening on the blockchain? Okay, so for this transaction failed. If you can see it, this transaction failed. It happened 9 months ago. This is the block timestamp. This is the block. This is the signature. Now, in blockchain, for every blockchain transaction, you have to sign that transaction. You have to append a digital signature before that transaction goes through. So this person transferred this token, this person transferred from this account to this account, and they transferred $50. Now, on that same day, they grouped 4 transactions into one. This Radium Pool.so, it is a decentralized exchange where people can go and swap tokens. So Radium Pool.so transferred for 7.97 USDC to this account. Now, when you are analyzing blockchain data, since you already have an understanding of how SoulScan work, you go to Flipside, you can say, okay, you can calculate the total amount of USDC that has been sent in that blockchain from one time to another. You can also compare it with maybe another exchange. This is Radium Pool. We also have other type of pools on Solana. We have Soulblaze and all of that. So you compare one pool to another. If you want to make it aggregate, you can compare Solana blockchain to Ethereum blockchain. You can look at the gas fees that they've generated over time. One of the key things that I want you to remember before you leave here is that incentive drives outcome in Web3. For instance, the airdrop, the Arbitrum airdrop, where Arbitrum released some tokens to people. Now, when there's a spike in transaction on the Arbitrum network, it may be because of that particular airdrop. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. Okay, I don't know. Do you have any questions before we round up this session?
Spelling correction. I use ChatGPT a lot so instead of paying for Grammarly is how many dollars per month?
Okay, I should talk about Web3. Okay, so my first slide.
People don't even visit Quillbot. Do you guys use Quillbot?
You can go to the first slide. So my first slide, I said Web3 is a decentralized web. It is not much different from your regular web, just that everything is open. It is there's not. It is transparent. Like when I showed you the blockchain explorer, for instance, now, if I go and I send 50 US,
custom response.
everybody
If the
can
customer
see it,
tells you,
provided they have my
"Oh,
transaction hash or
I
they
bought
have
this
my wallet
product,
address. They
it
can see
doesn't
that
do
I've just
blah
sent
blah
50
blah." You can
US.
use it to generate
Yeah,
custom
let me say I
response
interact
to the
on
customer.
I interact on a protocol, for
Confirm your
instance,
price. You are getting
and let's
paid.
say I paid a gas fee of 5
Also use
USDC.
it for
It will
chatting.
show on the blockchain that I just made a transaction of 5 USDC. So to make it simpler, that is what Web3 is. Now, the beautiful thing about Web3 for this our region is that Web3 makes payments easier. That's one of the many use cases of Web3. Let me say, I'm in Nigeria here. I can easily receive money or send money to someone in Afghanistan, for instance, now without any limitations. That's what makes it simple and easy. It is decentralized. Anybody can have access to it. Anybody can use it. Anybody can make transaction. Also, I mentioned I am a contributor in a DAO. A DAO is a decentralized organization. In that DAO, for instance, we can all make decisions. They will put a protocol out there, and I'll be like, no, I don't want this to happen on this in this organization, and then I can vote for it. So that's what Web3 is. Do you have any other question?
The output of everything and summarize it into an
Thank
order.
you.
So the system is going to take your order and pass it on.